If you take a drive from I-80 down I-25, then you will run into one of the best rivalries in the Mountain West, where today at Clune Arena, we'll bring you the 128th edition of the Wyoming Cowboys taking on the Air Force Falcons. Let's take a look at the Mountain West standings. As you can see, the Falcons, one of three teams looking for their first win in conference play, as Wyoming looks to even up their conference record at 2-2. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Justin Adams here with Brian German. And the last time that we saw the Falcons were on New Year's Eve, where they fell 77-58 to UNLV. And it was just a tough shooting day for the Falcons. Shot only 33% from the floor and 23% from downtown. Brian, that's something that has to change today.
Got to change. And hopefully, the Falcons are back in school now. At least all the cadets are back from the holiday break. Hopefully, the Falcons found some way to make the ball go in the basket a little bit more often.
Well, one of the best ways you could do that is having one of your best players back in the lineup, and that's Bo Becker. He's back for the third time this season. Only scored 5 points, 1 of 3 from downtown, but he's a guy that averaged over 13 points last year. A huge scorer for the Falcons.
Absolutely, and to see him drain the three in his first game where he got any kind of playing time at all is great to see. But last year, as you mentioned, Bo Becker was a integral part of this offense, scoring more points than Ethan Taylor if you look at the statistics. So if they can get Bo Becker going, and hopefully he can get it rocking today, maybe see a few more minutes for Joe Scott. If he can hit that shot from outside, he can get the Falcons all to begin rolling.
Will be really great to see Bo Becker doing his thing. On the opposite side, you talk about Wyoming. But they come into this game 1-2 in conference play. They lost by 9 to Boise State also on New Year's Eve. And they will be without one of their best players, as Obi Agba will be out with an ankle injury. That means Kobe Newton, the senior from Portland, Oregon, will have to step up.
And don't kid yourself, Kobe Newton can fill it up as well. He had 20 points in their last non-conference game against Cal State Fullerton on 5 of 8 shooting from the three-point line. His minutes have gone back down a little bit since they've started conference play, but he's going to get a few more today with Agman being out.
Yeah, Kobe has been struggling a little bit in the last 2 games. He's been 0 for 4, only scored 2 points against Boise State. So we'll see if Air Force can continue that streak by playing some strong defense, or will it be Wyoming going on the road and getting a W? We'll find out next on Altitude Sports. Brought to you by Intermountain Health, helping people live the healthiest lives possible. And we welcome you back inside Clune Arena, where the Falcons are ready to take on the Wyoming Cowboys. And when you look at the starting lineup, obviously we have a huge change, and the biggest one has to go on the side of the Cowboys as Obi Agba is out. He is out with an ankle injury, was injured with a couple of minutes left in the game against Boise State on New Year's Eve. So stepping in for him will be A.J. Wills. We talk about Kobe Newton as well as Mattia Belic. That's one of the guys to keep an eye on. He's coming back from the injury. Nesbitt and Cole Henry. And on the opposite side, we look at Air Force, Taylor, Mills, Marshall, Kearney, and a change as Caleb Walker will get the start and not Wesley Silahusky.
Yeah, but they've been interchanging Walker and Silahusky, so I don't think the team will notice anything different. The tough game here for Wyoming, I think, without Agman in the play, and they've had some rough travels as of late, getting back from Boise, and so we'll have to see how much energy they can bring to this game.
Well, how about this for Wyoming? Without Agbim in the lineup, the Cowboys starting lineup, they don't have one player that averages double figures. The guy who has scored the most is Jordan Nesbitt with 9.3 points a game. As you take a look at the Air Force Falcons, leading the way for the Falcons will be their head coach, Joe Scott. And for Joe Scott, this is his 21st season coaching overall. Comes in with 227 wins, 326 losses. Ninth season with the Air Force Falcons. Looking for win number 94 on the campaign. On the opposite side for the Wyoming Cowboys, Sundance Wicks, coming back home to say the least, was just the coach at Green Bay a year ago. Now in his first season on the head coach's seat with the Wyoming Cowboys. And we're off here at Clune Arena as the Cowboys look to get their second conference win of the year over the Air Force Falcons. As always, thank you so much for joining us on the Mountain West Network, as well as Altitude Sports and Entertainment. And how about that as a start? Cole Henry, the graduate student and transfer from Northern Iowa, with the dunk to get things rolling.
Great start for the Cowboys right there. An easy basket inside.
That's one of the biggest things that Air Force really needs in the worst way, are just easy baskets again. Shooting just 33% in the last game against UNLV. Talking to one of the assistant coaches, they said, hey, it just comes down to knocking down shots. And also, you got to take care of the basketball as well as you have a turnover.
Big turnover there for the Falcons. They kind of out of sorts there in that first possession.
Belic with the steal. By the way, Belic, really good player. Junior from Serbia, also a transfer from University of California, Santa Barbara. Wills with the rock, scored 17 points the last time out. Starting to get a lot more time. 5 seconds, skip pass in the corner, wide open three. And that's a really good start as Kobe Newton knocks down the triple. We're just talking about him. 0 for 4 in the last 2 games. Only scored 2 points against Boise. He now has 3.
Yeah, that's a good start for Newton, and the Falcons can't afford to let him get heated up.
Ethan Taylor, the leading scorer of the Falcons, gets it in the corner for 3. That's good. Really good start there for Air Force. You need Jeffrey Mills to knock down triples, his 17th of the year.
Yeah, the Falcons haven't started well in conference play here, but Joe Scott has no fault towards Ethan Taylor. That was a great look there by Ethan to get it to Mills.
Cowboys in their yellow tops, yellow bottoms, brown numbering. This is a rivalry that goes all the way back to 1958. 128th edition. These two teams are playing one another, so they know each other pretty well. Newton loses the handle and gets it right before it gets to half court. 4 seconds on the clock. Got to force it up. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Mid-range J. Off the mark. Rebound by the Falcons. Really good defense by Jeffrey Mills. Falcons 3-10 this season. 0-2 in conference play. Falcons looking for the first conference win of the year. Kearney spots up for 3. How about that? Back-to-back triples for the Air Force Falcons.
Just as good as it was for Newton on the Wyoming side. That's great to see Kearney hit his first shot. It's going to give him some confidence.
21st three-pointer of the year. Falcons up by a digit. By the way, when you look at Wyoming, they're a team that can really shoot three-pointers very well. In their 3 conference games, shot 44% from downtown. That's best in the Mountain West. Nesbitt on the drive, going up against Mills. Oh, I like the way Mills is playing defense today. 80s Wheaties this morning. Falcons with the rock. It's a Kyle Marshall. Why don't you knock this down, young man? The lefty off the front iron.
Good open shot, though. The Falcons getting it.
Oh, Henry in transition, tried to duck it home. He said he was fouled. Referee says no way from there. By the way, our referee is Kelly Pfeiffer, Deidre Carr, as well as Ron Corral. As another 3 goes up, and that one's good. Back-to-back triples from Jeffrey Mills.
6.
And the Falcons up by 4.
Great job from Mills on that one. Glad to see him open it. Steal here by Taylor.
Taylor goes against the cookies. Can he get the cream? You bet he can. Falcons running rough shot over the Cowboys. An 11-0 run. And they lead by 6. You see Ethan Taylor get the steal, the Euro step, and gets that one in the bucket. Falcons up by 6 with 16:37 to go.
Yeah, Joe Scott's got to love the way that his team started here. You hit those first 3 threes that you shot in this game, and, you know, the last game we watched here, Justin, they had a hard time shooting the basketball, but now they're 3 for 3 from 3. If you continue to shoot, obviously you're not going to make 100%. They're shooting at 80% for the day. You continue to shoot around that 50% area, 40, 45% even, Falcons are going to be in good shape.
You're being pretty kind when you say they had a tough time shooting 3-pointers. it was a struggle. I mean, it was one of those games where you had open shots. You looked around and say, if you just knock down a couple, you have a great opportunity to be able to win. Just not able to do so as the Falcons in the last game against UNLV shot 8 of 35 from deep. Mills 2 of 6 in the last game against UNLV. He's 2 of 2 so far today. Full court press by the Falcons. It's something that they really went to about 4 games ago. After the game against Miami, Ohio, Joe Scott said, hey, we got to change things offensively. And also change things defensively, too. Wants to go with a more up-tempo attack. And that'll be an easy lay-in for Wyoming as Belic gets his first 2 points of the day.
Just let him go on that one. The Falcons got to be wary of everybody out there for the Cowboys.
11-7 is our score. We'll have a timeout on the next whistle. Down to Silahusky, just recently checked in. Moving the ball around. This is what the Falcons like to do with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Marshall to Silahusky. He'll shoot the 3. Why not? Wesley Silahusky. Well, if everybody can hit a 3 today, why not him? Came into this game as a 26% free 3-point shooter, rather. He now hit his 7th of the year.
That can do a world for the Air Force offense if he hits that shot out there. That opens up a lot for the Falcons.
Falcons 4 or 5 from downtown. Wyoming looking to respond, and you can't leave that young man open. Kobe Newton for 3.
You mentioned Air Force playing faster, and they have done so, but they got to be careful and not get into a track meet with teams too.
Newton with his second triple of the day. He has 6 points, and that's one of the things the Falcons do. You really have to be careful of. They are a team that wants to run, but they also want to make sure that they get organized. That's the word from Joe Scott. Let's make sure that we're organized as we're putting our offense together. Marshall. Mills with the drive on the baseline, loses the handle, and that's the second turnover of the day. Here's Nesbitt. And look at Wyoming. They have a lot of guys with a lot of great experience. As Nesbitt goes out of the way, trying to get that one to A.J. Wills. And
closer to Zach Curran on that one.
Very true on that one. I'll tell you what's closer. How about these threes? Falcons struggling in the last game against UNLV. So far from downtown, they're 4 of 5. Falcons up 14, Falcons up 4 rather, 14-10 on the Wyoming Cowboys. Justin Adams with you. And one of the biggest things when you look at what the Falcons are doing, they're knocking down their three-pointers, which is really great to see.
Fantastic to see. Jeffrey Mills has 2 of those threes, and both on assists from Ethan Taylor. You got to love the fact that when they get the chance, they're slowing down, they're taking their time, and they're knocking these shots down. That was not the case last game. So far, they're 5 of 6 from the field.
Already halfway home for where they were a game ago. Remember, they only made 8 three-pointers against UNLV. And one of the assistant coaches just talked a lot about that. Said, hey, look, if we were hit our threes, that would have really opened up the game for us. I don't know about that shot that was missed as Sam Springer comes in. And one of the young guys, he'll learn as he gets more experience, but he was under the basket. So Holman forcing a stop. Newton, already with 2 three-pointers, will drive this time. And a nice pass. Not able to go get the floater to go is Toku Tainamo, the transfer from the University of Denver. 6 minutes into this game, Falcons up by 4. Giving it to Silahusky. Silahusky going to work. And the floater gets the kind roll. He now has 5.
Love to see it. He hit the three-pointer, and now he's being strong inside. Great job by their Silahusky there, getting some confidence building.
Silahusky, the sophomore from Georgetown, Indiana. Had a chance to speak to him also before the game, just walking the halls, and I saw him, and it's like the Green Giant, 7 feet tall. He is all 7 feet, to say the least.
Let's watch him again down low here. Just strength. That's what they need from him down inside. He's got to be able to muscle his way up and then get the nice soft touch. You saw it perfectly there.
Well, you think about Silahusky, he's the second leader scorer on this team, averaging 10 points a game, so he's halfway there already in this game. Will be a huge addition for Air Force. He could be that consistent scorer as A.J. Wills took too many steps.
I thought they could have called Wills a couple of times on that possession there for a walk, but finally gets it there. A little bit ahead of himself.
Turnover number 3. As in for the Falcons is Sam Duskin. So on the floor as Jeffrey Mills comes out.
The young player that can hit a 3 is Duskin. Springer can hit him as well.
How about this? Sam Duskin started 8 games this season, averaging just a smudge under 3 points a game. But he's a guy who can get hot. There's a lot of guys on this Falcons team that can get hot. It's all about knocking down their shots. This is a guy who can do it well. Ethan Taylor spinning around. Oh, nothing but nets. Like the way this young man is playing so far. Taylor with 4. Ethan Taylor, the senior from Houston, Texas. A guy who plays the game the right way. Allen with the take. Lays it off the window.
Good strong tape for Allen on the backside here. Both teams really shooting lights out right now.
Deontay Allen was named Mr. Basketball at Kentucky in 2019. Spent 3 seasons playing for the Wildcats. There'll be a foul away for the ball.
Silahusky working hard in there, and I believe he's got tangled up inside. They're going to get the call there.
So Kearney will come out, and coming in for him will be Byron Brown, the senior from Arizona. And we'll also have another substitution. This one coming in as Jordan Nesbitt, the transfer from Hampton University, will come in, and Newton will take a seat. 18-12 is our score, 12:44 remaining in the first half. Fresh shot clock. Falcons moving their ball in their trademark Princeton offense. Looking to use the shot clock, especially a man-to-man defense. Find the opening. 8 seconds on the clock. Taylor with the take on the big. Couldn't get the hook shot to go, but he'll get his own rebound. Swings it around. Brown with the take, and it'll be a foul on the floor against A.J. Wills.
And Byron's got to be careful there. He got that ball and kind of took a hop, which could have easily been a walk, but there's what I'm talking about. Nice drive, but that's a tough foul there on Wills.
Team foul number 2 on the Cowboys, and for Wills, that's his first personal foul. Substitution as Belich will come out. And coming in for him will be Abu Magasa. A name I like saying a whole lot. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Taylor in the corner. Brown got to knock this one down, right? Yes, he does.
Wow.
Byron Brown with a 3. How about this? Only his second made three-pointer of the season. Everything going down for the Falcons right now.
A lot different than the last game, sure is.
5 of 6 from 3, up by 9. Got to keep things going. They're going to get open shots. Coaches know it. It's all about, can you knock down the shots when you get the opportunity? Allen holding on to the rock, stepping back. He wants to respond, and he does so. Deontay Allen for 3. He now has 5. Quickly up court, Brown with the take. Oh, give it to Silahusky. I like that pass. Also like the score. Falcons of 8.
Yeah, I'm not sure Wyoming is ready for these quick offensive plays from Air Force. They're used to an Air Force team that used to walk it up the court and then get into the action. That one's just a quick play there and a nice pass for Silahusky.
And you know what's interesting? It's really the Cowboys score walking the ball up court with A.J. Wills. Allen for another 3. He knocks that one in.
Might have to get out in his face. He's got 8 points now.
Deontay Allen with back-to-back triples. That's what the young man can do. He can make three-pointers. And it's interesting. He's only shooting 26% from downtown. Look, has a really nice shooting stroke. Brown thought about the 3. Going to give it up. Duskin now to Brown. Springer spinning around. The take. Oh, like the roll off the window.
You think you got an idea why Joe Scott and his coaching staff like Springer?
My goodness, he looks
like
good
that.
out there. Man, the freshman from Alabama putting in work. Look at the shooting percentage for Air Force. Shooting 9 of 12. That's good for 76. Make it 10 of 13. It's good for 76% as we have a foul on the floor. With that, we will step aside. Falcons shooting very well from the floor. 5 of 6 from deep. And also 10 of 13 from the floor. Well, if you're looking for strong shooting, this is the place to be, as the Air Force Falcons are shooting 76% and Wyoming shooting 63%. Falcons up by 7.
Wyoming 4 for 4 from 3. Air Force 5 of 6. Ooh, there's some burning nets here at Clune Arena. It's going to be interesting to see which team cools off first or if either of them do.
Well, it's interesting because both teams play defense pretty well. They're both only allowing 70 points a game, and so when you look at how both teams are scoring so far, you would imagine that things will kind of move back to the mean in a little bit. But for so far, both teams shooting very hot from downtown. Wills, beautiful pass. I tell you what, doesn't matter what defense you do, when you're able to go and get great passing like that, you can't defend that one. Henry now at 4. Brown with the rock. As take a look at Marshall. And back in the game is Caleb Walker. By the way, Walker has the most free throw attempts on the team. 8 seconds on the clock. Brown with the beautiful head fake. Gives it up to Walker. Hook shot. Yes, sir.
Another contested tough shot inside. And the big man Caleb Walker picking up right where Silahusky left off.
Sharon is carrying, and that's what Air Force is doing. That's their 7th assist of the ballgame. Nice defense by Ethan Taylor and A.J. Wills. He gets it knocked out of bounds. So look at A.J. Wills, the sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. He appeared in the movie Shooting Stars and the series Swagger. Have you seen that before?
I have not.
All right. All right, what you have seen is Caleb Walker doing a great job with the hook shot.
You mentioned Walker, leads the team in free throws. Needs to knock a few more of those down. He's still working on that again to shoot around today.
Kobe Newton back in, and he lost the handle, but the ball went up. Should have been a violation. But Newton gets the rock back, misses that one, but there to go and clean up the mess is Jordan Nesbitt.
Got to get a body on Nesbitt when shot goes up.
Sundance Wicks, when talking about Nesbitt, saying, hey, this is a young man that is very talented, as you've seen right there, but also we got to make sure we get that junkyard dog in him. As the mid-range J goes up from Marshall, and that's very long, but Taylor there for the rebound. And he'll shoot the three. Why not? Off the front iron. Not a lot of possessions you could say that maybe that wasn't the best shot so far for Air Force. And, you give the green light to Taylor, but maybe could have got a better shot. In the corner, Wills for three. He knocks that one down.
And it looks like, Air Force has cooled off a little bit. Wyoming has not.
Well, immediately a timeout from Joe Scott. That'll be the first timeout taken from the Falcons. As you just said, Wyoming now 10 of 15, still perfect from downtown. All right, defensively, if you're Joe Scott, what are you telling your troops in order to guard the three-point line?
Oh, you got to get out on the shots. Get a hand in their face. Do something. They've had some wide open shots.
Well, one of the wide open shots you see comes from cleaning up messes like this. Falcons up by a deuce. Falcons up by 2 over the Wyoming Cowboys. Let's take a look at the Cowboys bench, who is shooting 66% right now. And by the way, we talk about Wyoming. Let's go to our trivia question. This famous Wyoming Cowboys basketball alum is credited for inventing the jump shot. Who is it?
We can't give it away yet. It's not Fennis Dembo, though.
Okay,
I think it was before Fennis Dembo.
Might be. We'll give you that answer during halftime. See, there's a reason to listen. As Nesbitt knocks the ball out of play. And by the way, we're going to see Bo Becker come in the game for the first time. Becker didn't play a lot the last time, as he'll come in for Caleb Walker. But Becker switching positions. Usually he plays the 4. He's now playing the 5. So he's learning a new position defensively, as he's slowly starting to get himself back into playing shape. Brown to Mills. He's 2 for 2. Way off on that one.
I think they got hit.
Starting to slow down a little bit as the shooting from Air Force. It means the defensive intensity has to pick up. Nesbitt spinning around. Baseline shot. Nice job defensively by Mills. By the way, Wyoming, without their leading scorer of the day, Obi Agbim, averaging 18.5 points a game, won't play today due to an ankle injury suffered against Boise State. So starting in his place is A.J. Wills. And Wills so far today, not doing too bad. 3 points. Gives it up to Taylor just a little bit too far out the outstretched hands of Ethan Taylor on the pass from Byron Brown.
It's tough. I'm keeping my eye on Bo Becker out there as he's playing the 5, which is where he was playing last year. And he's in there for Walker and Selahusky, giving them a blow right now. But what he can do is hit that 3. But, Selahusky hit the 3 earlier too, so we'll see. Falcons in a drought right now.
Falcons haven't scored in the last 2 minutes. And by the way, who's not in the drought is Wyoming. They've made 6 out of their last 8 field goal attempts. Nesbitt, nice pass to Bellish, but stolen away. Nope, going down to the ground and trying to call a timeout. And what do we have? Out of bounds on Ethan Taylor. So with 9 seconds on the clock, Cowboys will have the ball.
That was interesting. Watch this here as Bellish thought he had the ball and he's trying to call timeout and he lost the ball.
Well, I think
you can't call timeout if you don't have possession.
Well, I guess that's how you play overseas, right? We'll just call a timeout at any time.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Game-winning jump shot, timeout. Don't worry about it. 6 seconds on the clock. 5, 4. A little bit of a mouse in the house. Nesbitt with the floater. Nice defense by Ethan Taylor and the Falcons. Quickly up court. Got to get something rolling right now if you are the Falcons. Can't go through a scoring drought like they are right now. And have a foul. And not happy at all is Nesbitt.
No, Nesbitt got called for the reach there. Didn't exactly agree with that call.
No. Had a couple of adverbs, pronouns, and a couple other 4-letter words we won't repeat. By the way, that's team foul number 3 on Wyoming. And Nesbitt will come out with his first personal foul, and that's a steal. So Newton comes in, and a steal on the inbound pass. Wills scored 17 points against Boise. Now to Newton, and Newton can fill it up. He's a guy who can score a lot. 20 against CSU Bakersfield a couple of games ago. So he's a guy who can really score. 8 seconds on the clock. Double team. Allen gives it to Henry. Cole Henry, the spin move. Goes through the spin cycle. Comes off the window for 2.
Yeah, that's shades of old Air Force offense, getting the bucket with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, it must be really frustrating, you think, defensively. You do everything well for 28 seconds and give up an easy shot. That was a miss right at the cup. Bo Becker couldn't get that one to fall from the dunker spot. Becker learning a new position, also coming off an injury. It's going to take him a little bit of time for him to be able to go and get used to this new position of his. Now he's guarding well, he switches now as Wills with it. Stops the elbow, gives it up. Belich. Oh, nice footwork by Belich, and one. My goodness.
That's just a more experienced player against Sam Springer down there. Down low. Springer gets back over there, tries to get a body on him, but just couldn't stay with him. That's a nice move by Belich.
Belich now with 4 points, and now Wyoming on a 9-0 run over the last 3-12. Looking to make a 10-0 run, and the made free throw. Falcons on a scoring drought over the last 350, and they hope to get that change as Marshall comes in the game, and Ethan Taylor will take a quick seat with 5:43 remaining.
Going to have to change. The Falcons started so well in this basketball game that shots got to start dropping again.
Let's see what Marshall can do. The reigning Mountain West Freshman of the Week. He can knock those down. Really looked at as the future of this program. 12 seconds on the shot, Bo Becker. I'd like to see Bo be a little bit more aggressive right now. Has the advantage. And we have an offensive foul.
It's on Bo Becker. On the screen. Just moving too much. You can't just run through somebody. If you're setting a pick, you got to set your feet.
Well, Bo Becker will come out. And Byron Brown will come in. So it's a really small lineup. No, Silahusky's back in. Okay, I was going to say a very, very small lineup, but I don't know if that would be a wise decision against Wyoming. A 12-2 run over the last 4:46. Again, the Falcons started off very hot from the floor, really cooled down. And we have a foul, another offensive foul, this time on the Cowboys.
Things getting aggressive inside, and the officials are going to start calling that. They don't want it to get out of hand at all.
That'll be team foul number 4 on Wyoming, and that's Cole Henry's first personal foul. Brown. I would like to see Byron Brown just shoot that one. I mean, there's nobody on you. Go and take the shot. He already made one today. Brown passes to Kearney. Luke Kearney's not afraid to go and let go of the shot. Brown, he'll shoot it this time. And that rolls in and out. And the rebound chased down. And the Cowboys have it. Still, that's one of those shots that you say, hey, it's a good shot within the offense. They are leaving you open. Just got to knock them down.
Absolutely.
Newton for 3. Newton, nothing but nets. Kobe Newton, 3 from downtown. That's good for 9 points. It's a 6-point lead, and now a 13-0 run from the Cowboys. Falcons need a bucket down here in the worst way. They're going to go into paint. Silahusky, double team. Brown spots up. Can he hit this one? Way too strong, and rebound goes off the hands of Wyoming. As Belich was trying to convince one of the referees, who's like, hey, I know it went off my body, but look, it should go our way. A couple of substitutions as Byron Brown will come out, as well as Marshall.
Yeah, the Cowboys left Brown out there. They didn't believe in him after he hit that first 3. They were like, yeah, we're going to let you take a few more shots at it. He's missed his last 2.
Byron Brown has only made 2 3-pointers this season. Came into this game actually 1 of 8, 13% from deep. Silahusky, he made a 3. And how about that? Wesley Silahusky now has 10 as he made his second triple of the afternoon. And that stops a 13-0 run. And also a scoreless drought of over 5 minutes for the Falcons.
Got to still feel good, though. You got 5 minutes without scoring. You're only down 3.
Got the home crowd here at Clune Arena. Pretty good crowd today. It's Newton taking his time, and it is stolen away. Or is it? And it's going to be a loose ball foul on Wyoming. Really good defense by Jeffrey Mills. Mills, the senior, a 3-year starter, getting his hand in the cookie jar and helping out the Falcons, who are currently down by 3. But Newton doing his thing with 9. Cowboys up by 3, 33-30, with 3:32 remaining in the first half. And Wesley Silahusky came into this game as the second leading scorer for the Falcons, averaging 10 points a game. But right now he sits with 10 points. He is 4 for 4 from the floor and 2 of 2 from downtown. And even the mascot getting his boogie on here at Clune Arena.
Absolutely. He's loving it. Having a little fun. Good crowd here at Clune Arena today for this game. Usually is when Wyoming, as you mentioned, just about a 3-hour drive between Laramie and the Air Force Academy.
Trust me, that is all a 3-hour drive right there. It can get interesting when you go through I-80 from Cheyenne to Laramie, to say the least. Very windy.
Oh, yeah.
Silahusky with 10. Looking for more. Going up against Quinones. Beautiful footwork by Silahusky. The young men love to hear country music, and he got it playing right now. He has a dozen, leading all scorers. Well, you get that production from Wesley Silahusky, and you can imagine that if he's the guy who is second to score or leading the way, is that stolen away? Falcons with another steal. Duskin. Now, Taylor, you got to take advantage of this, right, if you're Air Force? Taylor,
something.
Right back to Silahusky. Mouse in the house. He has the advantage. Just go to work, young man. That's what he does. 14 points for Wesley Silahusky. 6 of 6. And that actually is off the body of Wyoming. And they're not going to say so.
I'll tell you what, this is what Joe Scott envisioned when he said we're going to run everything through the big men. He envisioned Wesley Silahusky making moves like that inside. I'll tell you what.
But look, I'm not going to be the one to take credit, but I did give him a little bit of a pep talk before the game.
Did you? What'd you say?
Well, I asked him about his music selection and why he likes country so much. So must have loosened him up a little bit.
Maybe you went back and listened to it a little before the game.
Little George Strait doesn't hurt anybody. 7-0 run over the last 92 seconds for the Falcons. And you think about where they were, didn't score for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh, you can't leave Wills open. And that's very fortunate to get a miss. And Silahusky with another rebound. Taylor wants to push the pace. Silahusky. Now back to Ethan Taylor. Nice screen. Free throw, Jay. That's good. Touch. Taylor with 4 points. He has 6 assists. Now the Falcons on a 9-0 run. So it's a game of runs. And yeah, that's going to be a foul on Mills.
Tell you what, though, Silahusky playing the way he is now, that's just going to open things up, and Ethan Taylor realized that. He's got 6 assists, and he said, you know what, I can play a little game here, and maybe I can get some points as well.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that he plays off the screen. He's one of those guys who, there's a reason why he's one of the top guards in the Mountain West. He's going to go down as one of the greats, really approaching actually a record of playing the most games in Air Force history. 15 seconds on the clock. Quinones spinning around, and he throws it to our cameraman. The only problem is our cameraman doesn't have a uniform.
No, tough. Hopefully Vince Greco okay over there.
Let's see what Greco is. Let's see.
He's not helping him get the ball.
Greco's checking out his camera, so camera looking good, so we don't have to pay for that. We'll be okay. By the way, this is the second game of the day here on this floor at Clune Arena. Earlier today, Nevada was taking on the Air Force women's basketball team, and Nevada was able to walk away with a 3-point win. Right here, men doing some good work, up by 3. 1:20 to go in the half. Kearney in the corner, looking for some opening. Now give it to Taylor with 14 seconds on the clock, and Kearney wasn't ready for that. Hey, looking at Joe Scott, and the first thing he says is, what are you doing? And the play is for you.
That's tough. Joe frustrated with that one there.
I think Joe Scott could sense this one is, and obviously every game is winnable, but there's some that you say, hey, this is what we gotta have. The leading scorer for Wyoming not playing today, Obi Agbim.
Yep.
Now with an ankle injury. This one at home you gotta get your first conference win as Will step back for three, no good, and rebound, yes sir, by the Falcons. Quickly up court, Silahusky, and throws that one off the body of Wyoming. So Wesley Silahusky wasn't able to go and grab the ball, hit him in the wrong place in his hands, but fortunately he grabbed the ball with his big paw and knocked it off the body of Wyoming Cowboy. Mattia Belic. So 31 seconds on the clock. 20 on the shot clock, so about a 11-second difference. Falcons leading by 3 on a 9-0 run. Taylor try to get it to Silahusky. It'll be a turnover. Newton quickly up court, Euro step. It'll be a foul, and the foul will be on Mills, and I believe that will be his second personal foul. It will be. So second personal foul on Jeffrey Mills. Going from the steal, here comes Newton, and he'll go to the free throw line for the first time today. Newton, a 95% free throw shooter. So, well, actually, are they not going to call this for shots? I believe they won't give him free throws. So with 18.7 seconds remaining, Wills and the Cowboys will inbound it. Shot clock is off, so they can have the final shot of the first half if they want it. And Wills will slow things down as A.J. Wills with 3 points, 1 of 3 shooting this afternoon. 8 seconds on the clock. 6, 5, Wills going in his back, gives it to Newton. The shot off, no good. And that's no good by Ethan Taylor. Would have been good if he would have made it right before the horn, and that'll be the end of half number 1. The Falcons up by 3 on a 9-0 run over the last 4 minutes. They lead 36-33. We'll be right back. Falcons off to a strong shooting start as they lead by 3 over the Wyoming Cowboys. And a couple of moments ago, Brian German had a chance to speak with the head coach of the Air Force Falcons, Joe Scott.
Joe, you had a 5-minute scoring drought there in the first half. You got to feel pretty good only down 3.
Well, I mean, I think we responded to the 5-minute scoring drought pretty well. I mean, they took a 3-point lead, and we came back and we're up 3 now. So we responded well. We haven't been doing that, and this year when we go through a drought, the other team seems to capitalize on it because we can't sort of stop the bleeding. But I thought we did a good job there stopping the bleeding. And other than those drought, that time frame, I thought we played really well.
And they're shooting the ball pretty well from 3. What do you got to do to stop that?
Well, I mean, we just made some mistakes. That's all we're going to go over at halftime. I mean, every one of those was a mistake on our part. We did a better job the last 3 minutes of the half, and what happened, they ended up missing some. So we have to do a better job in those situations where they're trying to get those threes.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thanks.
All right, great conversation from Brian German with Joe Scott. And with that, let's go to our trivia question. Let's give you an answer with that one, all right? This famous Wyoming Cowboys basketball alum is credited for inventing the jump shot. Who is he, you may ask? Well, the answer is Kenny Sailors. Was credited with creating the jump shot, said that he did so while playing basketball against his brother in the 1930s. Also, Kenny Sailors, a 3-time All-American, and led the Cowboys to their only national championship in 1943. You can take a look at Mr. Sailors. How about this? He played professional basketball for the Denver Nuggets in 1950. So there's a local tie that we have with Kenny Sailors.
He shoots it like you, Justin.
Well, he shoots it pretty well. Only problem is that every time I shoot it, for some reason it doesn't go in. But you know what does go in? How about the 3-pointers from Air Force? 6 of 11 from downtown, and they're up by 3. We'll be right back. The Air Force Falcons are halfway home to earning their first conference win of the year as they're up by 3 over the Wyoming Cowboys. Justin Adams and Brian German with me. And I tell you what, really good shooting half for the Wyoming Cowboys. At one point, they were shooting 5 of 6 from downtown, now 6 of 11. But they really picked things up, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but how about on defense, holding Wyoming scoreless for the last 4:30 of the half.
Absolutely. And I think, I talked to Joe Scott about the 5 minutes that Air Force went scoreless. Nice to see Wyoming went scoreless, too. We were wondering which team was going to stop scoring first. Well, Air Force did, then Wyoming did, but here we are. Pretty close basketball.
I believe in the business we call that market correction, to say the least. But really good defense from the Falcons. And when you look at the highlights of what we saw from the first half, well, both teams were shooting very strong, and it was great to see Mills be able to knock down a couple of triples.
Jeff Mills can hit the threes, just hasn't been that confident. But, boy, when you're that wide open, you got to knock it down. I think Wyoming was on their heels a little bit, but Newton came right back for them. He's done a great job. He has hit 3 of 4 from three-point range.
Yeah, really good to see that. But Newton is a guy who could knock down threes as well. Kobe Newton, 3 of 4 from deep.
And then here comes, who's this guy? Big Wesley Selahusky banging threes. He leads the Falcons with 14 points, 2 3-pointers in the first half, and that has opened it up for him down low. Those Wyoming big men weren't ready to step out on him there. They're going to have to start doing it.
How about this from Selahusky? Came into this game 6 of 23 from downtown. Better add 2 more 3-pointers to that total as we look at the first half statistics. Love what I see from the Falcons, especially in rebounding and in assists. Being able to share the basketball and also grabbing those boards when they're available.
36 points on 10 assists, and are you kidding me? Air Force out rebounding Wyoming by 5. When you look at the bodies that the Cowboys have out there, that's just a great job for Air Force in the first half.
And also, you see that Wyoming has 7 turnovers. That's a bugaboo for this team. Wyoming really gives away the ball when you look at the way that they play this season. So when you look at both sides of the ball for Air Force Falcons, it's pretty simple. Continue making shots.
Exactly. And also, I think you're right on defense. They've started to press a little bit, with something Joe Scott never did. Matt McCraw, the assistant coach for the Falcons, told me a couple days ago, he was like, if you'd have told me Joe Scott would have pressed, I would have told you you're crazy. But here he is doing it and forcing turnovers from Wyoming. They continue this, things are going to turn out in their favor.
All right, let's go on the opposite side. Got to look at the Wyoming Cowboys quickly. What do they need to do to make sure that they get back and win?
They got to get back to making shots. Yeah. They're 4 minutes and 30 seconds now without a basket. And I would think they could use some of their big men as well. Get it inside and make some easy shots.
Love to see Deontay Allen be able to make some shots. But on the opposite side, when you look at Air Force, Selahusky, keep doing your thing, big man. 7-footer with 14 points. Falcons up by 3. Air Force basketball on altitude is brought to you by Intermountain Health, helping people live the healthiest lives possible. Taking a look at the indoor facility at Air Force. By the way, walked around a little bit at Clune Arena. Seen there's some construction going on, especially with track and field.
Yeah, they got an indoor track and field here inside the field house. If you've never been to the Air Force Academy, you don't realize there's the Cadet Ice Arena, there's the basketball arena, and yes, on the other side there is actually a track and field. But this year they're not going to be able to compete indoors, and maybe not next year too, because they're putting in a brand new track.
Well, it's really good to see here at Clune Arena, but you also have outside, obviously, football. Really good team. Obviously, this year wasn't the year that Air Force wants, but when you look at how they are traditionally, Falcons really tough to beat in the Mountain West.
Certainly are.
And another tough team to beat. How about Wyoming? They're a team that is always middle of the pack. A couple of years ago, they were able to go and get to the NCAA tournament. But with their leading scorer, Obi Ogbam out, it's been guys like that. Kobe Newton stepping up with 9 points in the first half. And when you look at the Air Force Falcons, looking for their first conference win of the year.
I actually ran into Ogbam on the way back to the court here just a few minutes ago, and I talked to him. He said he's only out a couple of days. It's not a high ankle sprain. It's just an ankle sprain, but they wanted to keep him out today, and he's in a boot over there on the sideline.
Ogbam from Aurora, Colorado, played his high school ball at Rangeview. Very interesting journey that he had. We look at Obi Ogbam. Okay, he started his college career in junior college at Northeastern Junior College, then went to Fort Lewis University, then from there was able to transfer to Wyoming. He's not a uniform today. That's good news for the Falcons.
Yes.
As they're up by 3. That's 18.5 points is out of the lineup. Marshall, young man, got a lot of potential as we have a foul on the floor. And the foul will be against Wyoming. That's on Nesbitt.
Got to keep your hands off that player out there. And Nesbitt just stuck his hand out, got it on Ethan Taylor. Ethan said, you know what, you're going to touch me like that, I'm going to drive and get a foul called.
Second personal foul on Nesbitt. First team foul, just 15 seconds into half number 2. Well, the Falcons haven't had the lead a lot in the first half. You can even go back to the game against Boise State where they were down by 1 and couldn't be able to knock down a couple of free throws. It's a nice pass. And couldn't get the and one was Caleb Walker, but he will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Nice play there with Ethan Taylor. Taylor with a beautiful pass over to him. Just couldn't get the roll. And here we go. Caleb Walker at the free throw line.
Yeah.
The story continues.
It's an adventure to say the least. He's 22 for 47. Folks, that's 47%. And he missed the first one. He's second on the team with 48 free throw attempts. Leading the way is Wesley Silahusky. And Silahusky came into this game with 55 free throw attempts. So one more for Walker, and he gets 1 of 2. Good start for the sophomore from Jefferson City, Missouri. Third on the team in scoring as the Falcons come out and press. Like you said, this is something new. Haven't seen the Falcons do this a lot, especially Joe Scott. But what it really does is it really makes it very tough for the offense to get things going. They have to start late in the clock. It's Belic with the floater. That's no good.
Beautiful touch. Just couldn't get the roll.
All right, talk about 5 minutes that the Cowboys haven't scored. That's going back to the first half. See if the Falcons could open up this lead a little bit as they lead by 4. And Mills wants to restart the offense. Does so. And now what was that? Yep, be a charge. Well, you thought it would be a charge on Caleb Walker, and he tried to do a Euro step. I don't know if that was a Euro step.
Got him inside. That's just, again, I think that's experience against a little bit of inexperience, and Walker's going to get called for that foul.
I think that was a monument step right there. It wasn't a Euro step. 4-point lead for the Falcons, and for Walker, by the way, that's his first personal foul. 15 seconds on the clock. Nesbitt with a nice move. Should have been a foul. No call. As Mills got up front, I thought that would have been another offensive foul. No call.
That's tough when the crowd's going to get into it when you get a call on one end and not on the other.
And Joe Scott, he is irate. Just raving mad on the bench. Well, I can understand that one. 2-point lead. Kearney off the window. Well, the bank is open on a Saturday. Don't know if it's open at 5:03, but somewhere it's open.
Didn't you hear him? Glass.
There it is. 4-point lead. Look at Wyoming, a team that averages 72 points a game as we have a foul on the floor. And the foul will be on Kearney. Well, we always say the bank is open. How about the bank at ATM? That never closes. Open 24 hours a day. Kearney likes it that way.
That's a good look. I don't think he planned on it hitting glass, even though I joked about it. But hey, we'll take it.
Belic. Kobe Newton. Newton double team. Looking for some help. There's Belic with the drive on Kearney. Nice shot. Nice right-handed release by Belic. Makes this again a 2-point game.
He's a good, strong player.
Well, he has 7 points. He played very well. I've seen Belic play a couple of times this season. Guy dealt with a lot of injuries. Only played 5 games this season. A really good addition to the lineup for the Cowboys. Marshall for 3. The freshman lets it fly. 3-pointer by Kyle Marshall.
Marshall getting into the act.
Only his 5th triple of the season. And there'll be a foul in the backcourt against the Falcons. And how about this from Marshall? His first 3 of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's the 5th Falcon with a 3-pointer today. Good job by Caleb Walker to notice him wide open out there. And decent shooting still continuing for the Falcons. 7 of 12 from deep.
Joe Scott said he was shoved in the face. And we got a chance to take another look at the replay. Maybe we could see what happened there as Marshall playing very close on A.J. Wills. Different defense from what we're used to seeing from the Falcons. Turning up the pressure. Nice pass to Belic.
Belic is having his way against Luke Kearney down there.
What type of change would you make? When you look at the guys on the floor, would you put Walker maybe on Belic? Well, you have to have somebody on Henry.
Right.
Marshall looking to get the 2 points back. He'll give it up to Walker. Walker double team, trying to step through. Goes with the left hand. Oh, man, he went window shopping.
I was going to say, he was so deep inside there. It took him a while to take the shot, but he had great position when he got the ball.
44-43. Back and forth we go. Falcons up against the Cowboys. 5-point advantage for Air Force. The later you get into this game, the more you got to believe, if you're the Falcons, on getting a W today, as that'll be an offensive foul on the Cowboys.
That's another one of those on the pick there, Justin.
Yep, it will be the third team. Actually, is that the second team? Yes, the second team foul on Wyoming. And the foul is on Cole Henry.
I like the way the Falcons have kept up the offensive pressure here to start this second half. Had that lead, and now they built it to 5. Hopefully they can build it a little bit more on this possession.
Well, yeah. Before that, the Cowboys 3 of 3 out of their last 3 field goal tries, so you got to go ahead and get a stop, and that's exactly what the Falcons were able to do. Now let's see what they can do on the offensive end. Marshall using the pick from Walker. Driving in the lane, the freshman doing the right thing by passing the ball out to Taylor. Taylor always looking to get his guys involved. Now has the ball late in the shot clock. Under the baseline.
Nice
Gives
pass.
it to Marshall. Marshall with the hang time. And gets that one blocked away. Belich comes down with it. And quickly, here comes Wyoming. Newton for 3. Perfect all day. He's now 4 from 4 from deep. Make that he's actually 4 of 5.
Cannot leave him open. There was a switch, and Caleb Walker didn't step out fast enough.
And Newton could shoot that thing. Again, he came into this game scoring only 2 points in the last 2. He now has 12. As Walker gets it blocked away. Tanemo and Belich with the defense. Cowboys with a chance to tie things up. Have made 4 of their last 4 field goal tries. Tanemo, he could hit the 3. Off the mark, fortunately for the Falcons, as Taylor comes down with the rebound. Kearney stepped out of bounds. And Joe Scott has his hands in his head. Tough turnover, but the Falcons are clinging to a 2-point advantage of 44-42. But the Cowboys coming back with great defense and timely shooting from Newton. Falcons up by 2 on the Wyoming Cowboys with 15-10 remaining in the ball game. Justin Adams and Brian German. And one of the things that has been the difference in this ball game has been the bench scoring for Air Force. Outscoring Wyoming's bench 19-8 to the delight of the young man.
Yeah, there's Joe Scott talking to Mr. Pfeiffer, the official right there, trying to get some answers. But 19 points off the bench, that's great. Falcons finding other people to put the ball in the hole, and they're doing a good job of it. Caleb Walker, one of those main guys, as he's now got 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting.
How about the second half shooting so far from both teams? Air Force shooting 3 of 5, that's 60%. And Wyoming shooting 4 of 6, good for 66%. So it's going to be one of those games where it comes down to possessions. Who could be the team that could step up and also force some turnovers? And there's one right there. Marshall. Had the ball briefly as Ethan Taylor tried to get it to Marshall on the bounce pass. And that's another turnover for the Air Force Falcons.
Ethan made such a nice play there, stealing the ball. Had to go behind the back or it was going to get stolen right back, but just a little bit too out ahead of Marshall on that pass.
And Marshall will go and take a seat right now as well. That's turnover number 9 on the Falcons. Both teams with 9 turnovers so far in this ball game. A.J. Wills, native of Virginia. Now gives to Belich. Belich with the advantage going up against Jeffrey Mills. Like the defense, nice. Mills with the strip. And he gets the rock. Sundance Wicks cannot believe that there wasn't a foul call in the painted area. Man, Jeffrey Mills has to be one of the top defenders in the Mountain West. Now to Silahusky. Mr. Perfect on the day. He saves that way. Wesley Silahusky, 7 for 7 from the floor. 16 points, and he'll go to the line to shoot the and one.
What a great job by the big man right here. Look at Silahusky off the glass. And then, earlier this year, Coach Dave Metzendorf told me they were calling him the Silly Husky. If he keeps continuing to play like this, he's earning the Silahusky name.
Well, he's knocking the Cowboys. Husky. Well, he's knocking the Cowboys silly right now,
yes,
right?
He is.
7 from 7 from the floor, 16 points. His first free throw of the afternoon. Oh, misses that one. Maybe we shouldn't use the perfect thing right there, right? Announcer's jinx.
Thanks, Justin.
Oh, do what I can sometimes. 14 minutes to go. Cowboys up by 4. Really good defense so far from the Cowboys. Newton moving it to Magassa, just recently checked in. Nesbitt is a scorer. Now 7 seconds on the clock. Got to be careful for Nesbitt. Thought he traveled there, no call. There's an elbow to the face, and Mills cannot believe the call. Jeffrey Mills took a shot to the face. No call. There was also a traveling violation that should have happened, as Nesbitt had happy feet. So just take a look at home.
Here's another look. Now, as a defender, you can't put your hand on his body like that, and that's what got Jeffrey Mills in trouble.
Pretty big foul. Mills, that's his 3rd personal foul, also the 4th team foul. Under the basket, we have a call, and the fans in Clune Arena are saying it should have been a traveling violation. The referees say it's a foul under the basket.
Here's another look at it. I'm thinking Nesbitt goes baseline. Yeah. May have gotten away with a walk there. Got bailed out by the foul call.
Well, Wyoming in the scoring drought for the last 2-10. By the way, the foul was on Byron Brown. That's his 2nd personal. So going to the free throw line, shooting 2 will be Nesbitt as he knocks home the first one. Get Nesbitt a transfer from Hampton University. Sundance Wick says he's very talented, showing up and winning every day. We kind of have to rewrite his program because he's a junkyard dog, and we know that he could grab those rebounds. We just want to make sure that he's the type of player who brings it every day. This is the 2nd one, and had 5 points and 5 rebounds against Boise. Falcons up by 3. Been that way for the most part, going back and forth in this game. Taylor, oh, what a pass to Mills. Now to Brown. Come on, Brown, knock it down. Misses that one, and the tip goes to Magassa. Byron Brown, 1 of 4 from deep, so as long as he's going to be in the game, the scouting report says leave him open.
Absolutely, and there's a foul on Brown on the backside.
A foul. Well, Brown thought that he had the ball in a tie-up, but that would be a foul on Brown, and for Byron Brown, that's his 3rd personal, also the 16th foul on the Falcons. So with 13:07 remaining, something to keep an eye on.
That's a lot of fouls early in this half. Wyoming with 4.
Yeah, got a couple of players in foul trouble, by the way. Byron Brown with 3, Jeffrey Mills with 3. You're talking about 2 of your top defenders on the team. So Byron Brown will come out. And coming in for him will be Springer. Tainamo, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Nesbitt, mid-range J, off the mark, rebound by Taylor. He's someone flat-footed. Kearney, quickly up court. Now you give it to Silahusky. He's been dominant all day from the floor. 7 of 7, and make it 8 of 8.
Wow, loving what I'm seeing from Big West.
Oh, Wesley Silahusky, 7 feet tall, 245 pounds, putting all his weight on the defenders for the Cowboys. Up by 5, 48-43. Oh, beautiful pass to Magassa for the dunk. What an assist from Newton to Magassa.
No backside help defensively there for the Falcons. Just fell asleep on that one.
12-11 remaining. The take and one. Beautiful lay-in by Sam Springer.
Love seeing this kid. We saw a nice play in the first half. Here's his good play in the second half. Just realizing the lane is open and going in there and getting a hoop and a hack.
Well, how about this for Springer off the bench? He had 9 points against UNLV. That's a career high for the freshman. And Springer slowly getting more playing time, and the reason why is because of plays just like the one you just saw.
Yeah, he's been in 10 minutes today, 2 of 3 from the floor.
Springer with 4 points today. Looking to make it number 5. The freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. Couldn't get the LeBron James bounce. And it remains a 5-point lead. Really entertaining game at Clune Arena. Pretty good sized crowd today. The rivalry in its 128th meeting between Wyoming and Air Force, and that's going to be a very tough foul. And the foul will be on Air Force. That'll be their 17th foul. And when we return, Wyoming will be shooting free throws. Well, it's a good day to be 7 feet tall because Wesley Silahusky is having himself an afternoon.
He certainly is. He's 8 for 8 from the floor, 2 for 2 from 3, making strong big man moves. You know why he's so good? He's got some good basketball genes. His mom played basketball, college basketball at Oakland City College. His dad played at Alice Lloyd College. Sister Callie Jo plays college volleyball at Grace College. I mean, he's got some good genes.
Not bad. And he also listens to some pretty good music, too. George Strait, one of the guys that he likes to listen to. So, he keeps him calm, keeps him rolling. And he's also 4 points away from a career high that he set earlier this season when the Falcons were going up against Stony Brook.
Earlier this year in the offseason, Joe took a bunch of these basketball players on a trip to Canada. They beat the reigning collegiate champions in Canada, and that's the kind of play they were seeing from Wesley Silahusky up there. That's what made them say, let's run our offense through the big man.
Both free throws are made by Newton. Newton leads the way for the Cowboys with 14 points. There'll be a foul on the floor on Newton as Newton is like, wait a minute, what was that call? Fouls are starting to pick up. Newton with his second personal foul, also the 15th foul. By the way, for the Falcons, they have 17 fouls. So for the rest of the way, every whistle that goes against Air Force will result in free throws. Ethan Taylor inbounding the ball, only with 6 points, but he does have 7 rebounds and 7 assists. With Taylor, as a freshman, he became the first player in Air Force history to have a triple-double. So he's well on his way there. And Mills throws it away, trying to get it to Silahusky.
Just some miscommunication there, I think, between Mills and the big man.
Turnover number 10, making turnover number 11 this ball game. Almost halfway home. Clune Arena. Tainamo. Going up against Kearney. Tainamo, beautiful spin, blocked away by Silahusky, and the ball off the hands of the Cowboys. Beautiful defense from the Falcons.
Nice job by Silahusky. This is what you need from a 7-footer, to be waiting, swat that shot if someone's going to try and get it close to the rim.
So Tainamo will come out. Wills, Allen, Newton, Belich, and Henry are in for the Cowboys. That's Kearney. And we'll have a foul away from the ball, and that'll be on A.J. Wills. Team foul number 6 on, or is that team foul number 7? It is team foul number 7. So going to the line, shooting a 1-and-1 will be Ethan Taylor. That's a good guy to have at the free throw line.
11 minutes left in the second half, both teams in the penalty.
Well, it's interesting because in the first half, you didn't have a lot of fouls on either side, and now the fouls have started to pick up. More physical play as the game has gone on. As Taylor knocks down his first free throw, he now has 7 points.
Kelly Pfeiffer talked to us during halftime there, the lead official today. Came over and said, hey, we got a good basketball game.
That's right.
Said, yeah. Now they're starting to... Oh, never.
Where's the wood to knock on, right?
You just like it when there's less fouls played, but, when both teams are being as aggressive as they're being, that's why you're seeing a lot more whistles than there in the second half.
Sam Duskin will come in for Luke Kearney, and Kearney will leave with only 1 foul. So Kearney's been okay. But if you're playing this, press coverage of what we're seeing from Air Force, you got to have a lot of guys play. And Joe Scott says he wants to have 12 guys play. A couple of reasons. One of the main reasons are, hey, it gives everyone a chance to be able to play, gets the experience needed as Allen steps back for 3. My goodness, Deontay Allen, the senior from Kentucky. Knock it down to triple.
He hit some in the first half. They got him back out there now, and he's got the green light.
Well, it's perfect from downtown, 3 for 3. He has 11 points. 2-point lead for Air Force. It's been that kind of way so far in the second half. Haven't really been able to expand the lead as Marshall, corner pocket 3. Yes, sir!
I like the way he stepped back. He looked down at his feet, made sure he was behind to get the 3-pointer.
Well, that's a veteran move from the freshman. The reigning Mountain West freshman of the week now has 6. Past the midway point in the ball game. 55-50. Falcons looking to get their first conference win of the year. going up against their rival in Wyoming, who have won the last 2 matchups. That ball is thrown away as Nesbitt tried to get that one to Belich. And the Falcons will have the rock. And turnovers have been an issue for Wyoming. That's their 11th turnover. Sundance Wicks, the head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys, says, hey, as long as we can keep it 12 and under, that's fine. But once we get over that number, then we got some issues. And that's been issues that Wyoming has seen all season long. Taylor, head fake. Always looking to find an open teammate before he wants to shoot. 8 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds. Silahusky for 3. That's off right. Rushed it just a little bit. And that's his first miss from the floor.
Wyoming's, they're actually looking at Silahusky now.
Well, anytime you're 2 for 2 from downtown, man, you're a 3-point shooter. 9 minutes of the game. Belich going up against a much smaller Marshall. A foul and 1.
Belich, that's a very, very strong move. A nice, strong move down inside against the smaller Marshall. Marshall trying to body him up and made a mistake by leaving his hand across the ball there. And all you got to do is raise your arms as Belich did. And you're going to get that foul called every time.
Well, Marshall 6'4", 190, going up against Matija Belich, who is 6'7", 205. Also has that Serbian strength. Belich shooting the and 1. That's too long. Rebound by Silahusky. So Belich will stop at 11 points. He's the 3rd player in double figures for the Cowboys. Silahusky to Ethan Taylor. Taylor leads the Falcons in scoring with 14 points a game. Only has 7. Gives it to Marshall. Tipped around. Marshall lost himself under the basket.
Yeah, you're right. I think Kyle didn't know where he was right there. He went up and kind of, where's the basket?
Well, it's one of those things where you feel like you have to rush it, right? Because you're in the paint. So you say, hey, there's somebody who's taller who's getting ready to swat this away, and didn't realize he could have took that extra beat to be able to go and lay that one in. Fortunately for the Falcons, they will have the ball. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Couple of substitutions. Bo Becker as well as Jeffrey Mills comes in. Gives Silahusky a quick breather, as well as Ethan Taylor. Really important juncture you have here. Ethan Taylor's a guy that you trust with the basketball. So who's going to be the player to be able to shoot the rock around a little bit?
You're going to look for Jeffrey Mills out there, the senior on the floor, and with Becker out there, a senior as well.
Mills, 5 seconds on the clock. Mills with the drive. Stops, spins around. The hook shot, no good. Rebound in the hands of the Cowboys.
That's good hustle there by Belich to get down on the floor and get that.
Oh, head fake, step back, 3 on the way. That's good. Where we're tied up at 55 apiece. A huge triple by Deontay Allen. Quickly up court. There's Bo Becker. Won't get the shot to go, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Well, the Falcons have been in a scoring drought over the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds. When we come back, they'll be at the free throw line as the Cowboys have knotted us up at 55 apiece. Where anytime that you're named Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky, you must be doing something right. And we're seeing a great performance by Allen.
Yeah, Dante Allen is filling it up today. He hasn't missed from outside the 3-point mark. He is 5 for 5 from the floor, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. And he's tied with Newton for the high game scorer for Wyoming with 14.
Well, how about this? He came into this game averaging just 5 points a game. Deontay Allen doing really good. 14 points, 5 and 5. As Bo Becker's at the free throw line. And he misses the first one. Got to go and knock down your free throws. And for everything that has gone right for the Falcons, not so much at the free throw line. 3 of 7 from the charity stripe. Really important basket here for the Falcons. And that stops a 2-minute and 18-second scoring drought on the made free throw from Becker. His first points of the day. Under 8 minutes remaining. As the Falcons looking for their first conference win of the year. And Wills almost gave that away. Actually, we got a pretty big date when you talk about the Falcons and winning a conference game at home specifically. As Nesbitt Slips a bit with the hard take. Misses that. Good defense. Gets it back again, and that will be a foul. And not liking the call is Sam Springer, but you're going to see on the replay his hand come down a bit. And anytime your hand or your arm comes down and makes contact, that's a foul. And shooting 2 will be the Cowboys.
That is tough for Springer because he played so good. Got him to miss the first shot, but you got to turn around, box real quick, and get that rebound. You can't let him get a second chance at it.
Jordan Nesbitt, 6'6", 210-pound senior from St. Louis, Missouri, representing the Show Me State. Knocks home the first of 2 free throws. And take another look at the free throw. Take a look at the arm, and you'll see it. Yep, that's a foul on Springer. By the way, for Springer, that's his 3rd personal foul. So you now have Sam Springer with 3, Mills with 3, also Byron Brown with 3, and the free throw is missed and reeled in by Sam Springer.
Still tied. This is typical Air Force Wyoming basketball game.
Well, Wyoming has won the last 2, but it's always close when these 2 teams match up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Taylor getting the pick from Bo Becker. Looking at a triple-double, by the way. Ethan Taylor, 8 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Now 5 seconds on the clock. The freshman, Marshall, crossed over, but before he did that, took 2 midi steps. And to the dismay of Joe Scott, that'll be another turnover on the Falcons. That's turnover number 12.
Those are things you got to learn as a freshman. Sometimes you get ahead of yourself. You see you've got an open lane to the basket. You're ready to go. Or you've thought of that move. I'm going to use this move this time. And you forget about, you got to dribble the ball when you move your feet.
Belich going up against the freshman. And Belich just arm barring him. Yeah. Now gives it to Wills. Back to Belich. And that's going to be an offensive foul. You can't do that, young man.
I think the crowd behind us called that 10 seconds before it happened.
Well, the crowd is always the best referees, right? They're the best referees, offensive coordinators, they know everything.
Watch the arm. You can't do that. Hey, come on now. Yeah, okay.
Luke Kearney coming back in for Kyle Marshall with 6:37 remaining. Well, it's been a while since Air Force has won a conference game at home. How about this? 694 days. You got to go back to February 10th of 2023.
Wow.
Falcons have a chance to snap that streak in the first game of the new year. How about a new streak on the new year, right?
That'd be great.
Kearney, skip pass to Taylor with 5 seconds on the clock. Ethan Taylor stepping back. 3 on the way. Too strong. Skying high for the rebound is Cole Henry. 6'9", center has a whole lot of hops. Well, the Falcons haven't scored a field goal in over 4 minutes. So who's going to be the guy to get the scoring rolling again for the Falcons? Starts on defense. Nesbitt pointing out to Belich. Hey, give me a screen. He gets it in the switch. Nesbitt on Ethan Taylor. Beats Taylor and gets the contact.
Did he beat Taylor or just move him out of the way with his arm? That was interesting play there by Nesbitt. Let's take another look at it here. Yeah. From our side, it looked a lot worse than that. So,
well, Nesbitt,
Ethan Taylor, tough break.
Yeah, tough break for Ethan Taylor. And for Taylor, that will be his 2nd personal foul. As Nesbitt goes to the free throw line, knocks down the first one. So Wyoming with the lead. That's their first lead since the game was 33-32 with 3 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the first half. And both free throws go in for Jordan Nesbitt, the transfer from Hampton University. Also a 66% free throw shooter. Falcons need a bucket down here in the worst way. See where they will go. Mills on the drive, and that'll be a foul on the floor against A.J. Wills, and Wills does not like that call at all. By the way, for Wills, that's his 3rd personal foul.
Well, the officials have pretty much set the tone here in the second half. You're gonna lean on somebody who has the basketball, making a move towards the basket, you're gonna get called.
Jeffrey Mills hasn't been through the free throw line a lot this season as he missed the first one. And I thought this was a little bit of a misprint. But coming into the game, Mills 5 of 14 from the free throw line. That's 36%. Mills misses both. 5:20 to go. Beautiful pass to Belic, and he gets it knocked away. Nice job defensively under the basket, as Luke Kearney knocked it out of bounds. So Bo Becker will come out, and this probably will be your finishing lineup for the Falcons. We'll see if they'll make any changes as Wills go up against Mills. Beautiful take by Belic. He gets it to go. Well, the Falcons, without a bucket in a while, they need one now. Almost 3 minutes they haven't scored.
Got the big man back in there, Selahusky in deep.
Well, Selahusky has been dynamite today, 8 of 9 from the floor. For 3, that'll be a big shot way off to the right, missing absolutely everything. Was a shot from Springer, and Nesbitt will slow things down. Well, can the Falcons finish? They're outscored by 7 points in the second half. So you can make the argument this is the defensive possession of the season for Air Force. 8 seconds on the clock. Henry up against Selahusky. A lot of contact and an easy roll in off the fingers of Cole Henry.
That's just a great move by the big man there. Quick spin on Selahusky for the 2.
Henry now with 8 points. And the Falcons will call a timeout. Air Force has scored in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds as Wyoming now on a 7-0 run over the last 3:12. 12 to run over the last 4:43. And when you get buckets like this, it's going your way from the team from Laramie, Wyoming. Air Force Falcons down by 6, 62 to 56. They haven't scored in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And when you look at the free throw line, they're 4 of 10. If you knock down every free throw, this game is tied.
Yeah, and they're called free throws. So I know Joe Scott's a little upset. Obviously, it's tough to go 100%, but if you make even 4 more of those, it's a 2-point game.
Selahusky wide open. He's 2 for 2 from downtown. Goes against that. Bringing back Kyle Marshall. Marshall to Luke Kearney. Kearney wants to get into Selahusky, does so. 6 seconds on the clock. Selahusky to Ethan Taylor. Taylor down the lane, gives it to Marshall. 1 second. And the floater is in. Now, will that count?
They're going to have to look at that one, and it was awfully close. I'm not sure Marshall realized how close it was. He got the shot off. I'm not sure if it got off of his hand when the clock expired.
Well, let's see.
The last play is under review for a shot clock violation.
Last play is under review. And
timeout also. Media timeout.
And I don't know that one as well. One more look. All right, what do you think, Brian?
It's hard to see from these looks because we don't see the clock expiring. So it's going to be hard to see.
Well, we'll go and come back, and when we do, we'll give you an answer. As the Falcons sorely need this bucket, they haven't scored in the last 4 or 5. Well, keeping an eye on this one. Is this a shot that's good for the Falcons? Well, if you look at the clock, and look at the red on the shot clock, I think it is good.
Yep, it's out of his hand, and the shot clock had not expired yet. I think they're going to say this one is good unless they're looking at something other than what we have, but we're providing the same video, so hopefully Kelly Pfeiffer and them are seeing it the way we do.
Yeah, Deidre Carr as well as Juan Corral. Hopefully they can see it the way that we see it, like the way that they should, correct?
Yeah.
By the way, this would be big for the Falcons as Wyoming has been on a 7-0 run over the last 3:37. Again, the Falcons haven't scored in over 4 minutes, so Kyle Marshall, if that floater can go, well, you talk about with 3:48 remaining in this game, you're only down by 4. This has been a game of runs for both teams. As you look at Air Force, they're shooting in the second half 46%, but overall 56%. And for Wyoming in the second half, doing a lot better, shooting 62% and 59% overall. So this would be a big shot. And you think about what the Falcons have been able to do in the first half, where they were 8 of 17 from deep, have only made 2 3-pointers in the second half. So to only be down by potentially 4 points with 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go, and they're going to wave it off. Wow. Oof. Let's take another look, if we can, at that one, and you be the judge at home.
Video evidence, if you're looking at
the last basket does not count.
Corner,
shot clock violation, ball in fingertip.
That is so close. I think you could argue it either way. And
the Clune Arena faithful, they see it on the big board, and they don't like that call. What you got to do is you got to go and wipe the slate clean and understand that you have 3 minutes and 48 seconds in order to go and make up a 6-point deficit and get your first conference win of the year.
Falcons eat the last run of this basketball game. They've been doing it today. Just got to do it now.
Well, for the last 3:45, it's been Wyoming on a 7-0 run. Can the Falcons get a 7-0 run over the same time span? If they do, they'll win this one. 7 seconds on the clock. Allen with it. Now to Wills. 4 seconds. 3. Loses the handle. 2 seconds. Oh, that's going to be a traveling violation.
Good defense for Air Force. That's what they needed. Get a stop, now get a basket.
To no surprise, it's the co-captain Jeffrey Mills on the defense there. Again, Wyoming without their leading scorer, and Obi Agbim. Agbim out with an ankle injury. Should return in a couple of days, but not today. Falcons with the rock. Taylor looking at a triple-double almost in the corner. Marshall now with 11 seconds. Back to Marshall. To Silahusky. 7 seconds. Silahusky double team. To Marshall. Marshall with the take and one! Kyle Marshall, the reigning Mountain West Freshman of the Week. Growing up right in front of our eyes with a huge deuce.
Just what the doctor ordered. I thought Silahusky was going to continue to back it down in there. Marshall, presence of mind, finds some open room in the lane. Says, hey, they're not going to count the last one. How about this? And give me a free throw, too.
You talk about the future of the Air Force Falcons. Kyle Marshall is that. Just couldn't knock down the and one. Got to hit your free throws. Now 4 of 11. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite the Falcons. Marshall with now 8 points. Got to continue to show up defensively. Down by 4. Nesbitt spinning on Marshall. The take, and Nesbitt gets that one to roll. Well, it's good defense by Jeffrey Mills, but Nesbitt making things happen.
Yeah, he's just strong inside there. Good job.
He now has 10. 2:19 remaining. Kearney with the take on Allen. Takes it up off the window. That's good.
At least the drought is over. The Falcons are hitting shots. Now you got to get a stop.
Kearney with 7. Where are the stops going to come from? Jeffrey Mills, one of your top defensive players, has 3 fouls. Henry. Oh, down low. You can't do that. And Belich misses the first one. Oh man. Marshall missed Belich. And Belich fortunately misses the lay-in. But he will go to line shoot too.
Got away with one here, Justin, early on. When he missed the first shot, I thought that Marshall right there could have been called for a foul. And then to jump up on the backside and do that, that's tough. We'll see how Belich does at the line.
Marshall, that is his 3rd personal foul. As Belich misses the first one. Well, that's a good foul. By the way, Belich comes to the game as a 67% free throw shooter. Belich playing with 4 fouls. He has 13 points. 2nd highest leading scorer, making a 3rd highest leading scorer for the Cowboys. He misses both. And Silahusky gets the rebound, and he's fouled in the backcourt. Oh, baby. So with no time running off the clock, the Falcons have a chance to get 2 points closer, and that will be the 5th foul on Belich.
That is huge for Wyoming. It's going to be tough. Nope, they're sending him back in there. So I don't think they called it on Belich.
Well,
so Silahusky goes to the line now. Here's another look at it.
Well, who's the foul going to be on? And we'll see. We still don't have an official word of what. The scorer's table says it's on Matija Belich. That'll be his 5th. As Silahusky takes care of business and knocks home the first one. So if the foul isn't on Belichick, who's it on? Well, substitution will be Byron Brown coming in for Kyle Marshall. So you get some experience on the court. And one of the referees is going to the scorer's table to verify who the foul is on. Now, we didn't exactly get word of who it's on. I'm looking at the scorer's table, and they said the foul was on Belich. If it is, that's his 5th. But Belich is still in the ballgame.
Yeah.
Silahusky misses the second one. The good news, it's a one-possession game. The bad news, that is another miss at the free throw line. Make that miss number 8 for the Falcons today. 5 of 13. Looking for their first conference win at home in almost 700 days. They need some defense. And that should be a tie-up. It is! But the possession arrow will stay with Wyoming, but nice defense by Byron Brown.
Look at this defense here, Brown. Good position. Just get your hand on the ball. That's a great job there by Brown. And we got a 30-second timeout here. Joe Scott wants to reset the defense with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
One guy I'm surprised that we haven't seen is Kobe Newton back in the game. And Newton has been playing the game, been playing very well in this ball game. He has 14 points. And he's the second leading scorer for the Wyoming Cowboys, especially with Obi Agbim out with an ankle injury. What you have on the floor is Belich, Wills, Henry, Allen, and Nesbitt. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. But on the opposite side, you look at the Air Force Falcons, Silahusky, the only player in double figures with 19. This is a huge possession right here for the Falcons. You've got to find a way how to get a stop.
Got to get a stop. Time really dwindling down here with 1:33 left. Just a few possessions left, and the Falcons got to make it count. They got to start with a stop.
Take a look at our timeout situation. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining with 93 seconds to go. As Wyoming.
So what are you saying? We're going to be here for one?
Well, we could be. Got a sandwich before the game, by the way, so I'm ready to go.
You're okay.
Well, what's the old saying? If you're not angry when you're hungry? I'm not angry right now.
Okay, that's good.
There you go.
Justin Adams not hangry. That's very good.
Well, one person hopefully be happy would be Joe Scott. He wants his defense to get a stop. Kearney going up against Nesbitt. The turnaround. Jay rolls out, and the rebound by Belich. Oh, man, that's huge. New shot clock. Oh, the Falcons had everything they wanted, just couldn't clean up their boards. 10 seconds on the clock. Newton loses the handle. What a strip by Ethan Taylor. Air Force with a chance to tie things up with a minute to go at Clune Arena. Now they run their offense. Taylor, chin action. That's what he wants to run. Byron Brown, one of the veterans, to Taylor for 3. Oh, off the mark. Could have tied it up.
Wow, that's what you wanted. You wanted Ethan with the ball out there, but he missed it. Now they're going to get a foul on him here in the backcourt.
I don't know why you want to have a foul there for Ethan Taylor. That's his 3rd personal foul. But you're going to send A.J. Wills to the free throw line, and Wills a 90% free throw shooter. You're talking about all the guys you want to foul in yellow. That's not the one you want. Still, you have 2 timeouts remaining, 46 seconds to go. So even if Wills makes both free throws, you still have time and possessions. As Wills calmly knocks down the first one.
Ethan calling a play here that Joe Scott wants. Surely want to get a basket fast. He makes it or misses here.
Wills makes both. 5-point lead. 45 seconds to go. Ethan Taylor. Over to Mills. Kearney. Back to Mills. If you're going to do something, you got to do it quickly. A lot of time running off the clock. Now to Silahusky. Silahusky spins around. A lot of contact, no call. Byron Brown couldn't get the putback. 30 seconds to go, and now you got a foul. And the foul will be on Ethan Taylor. And for Taylor, that's his 4th personal foul. And who would that put to the free throw line? I think at the free throw line it will be Jordan Nesbitt. And it is. That's a good idea because Nesbitt is a 66% free throw shooter. He's 4 of 6 today, 10 points, 10 rebounds, has the double-double.
Well, and here's what counts. You make free throws, this game's over.
Yep.
If you're the Cowboys.
Well, let's see if the crowd noise from the Clune Arena faithful Has any effect? Not so on the first one. So Bo Becker will come back in.
Joe getting three-point shooters out there, all of them.
Would you call a timeout right here for the Falcons? You have 2 remaining. 6-point game, 2-possession lead. Nesbitt gets the kind roll, and Wyoming will call the timeout with 28.2 seconds to go.
Sundance Wicks wants to talk it over and just make sure they're not. The worst thing that can happen here if you're Wyoming is you foul on a 3-point shot.
Yep.
And get right back into this thing. If you get the 3 and a free throw, you're within 3. I'm sure Sundance is saying, let's not do that. Let's contest, but don't touch them.
Wyoming has outscored Air Force by 10 in the second half. That's the reason why they're up by 7. Obviously, the woes at the free throw line are coming back to bite Air Force, but let's wipe all that clean. What does Air Force have to do in order to get a win? There's still plenty of time. You still have 2 timeouts remaining. It's not impossible to get a W. What do you got to do?
No, not at all, but they've got to get a shot up faster. Even that last possession they had, I thought they were wasting too much time before they got it down to Sella Husky. They got to get it up fast, and I wouldn't be surprised if you just go ahead, get it to Ethan Taylor, let him come up the court and shoot a 3. Okay, you got Kearney here, and I'll bet Becker's going to open too. Here comes Taylor.
Clock running under 25 seconds to Becker. Well, Becker can shoot the 3. Does it. Byron Brown with the take. A lot of time coming off the clock. Could have been a traveling violation, no call. Brown, Ethan Taylor, you got to get a shot up, don't you? Taylor with the reverse layup and misses that one. 10 seconds to go. Brown back with it. Gets the lay in the fall with 7.8 seconds remaining. A lot of time off the clock. But it is a 2-possession game with 1 timeout remaining for Air Force.
A lot of dilly-dally in there, it seemed to me, for the Falcons. Had to get a bucket fast. I'm okay if you want to go get a 2, but you got to get it in 3 seconds. You can't just waste time. They had a lot of time left on the clock with that possession. Now it's just 8 seconds.
All right, I got the plan right here. Get a steal, get a layup. Then you get a foul. Wyoming misses both free throws. Get the ball, get over time court, hit a 3. Going overtime. Okay. All right.
And how we work on altitude, we tell Wyoming that, and that's how it works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wyoming's listening. Don't worry.
Okay.
They know how it goes.
Okay.
By the way. 7.8 seconds to go. Justin Adams and Brian German. And you're looking at Wyoming, and they've had a lot of games in conference play that has been very close when you look at the Cowboys this season. Their only win was against Nevada. That was last Saturday. That was a 66-63 W. Lost to Boise by 9. And then lost to Utah State by 3. So every conference game has been under 10 points, as there will be a foul, and the foul will be on Air Force as Kobe Newton will go to the free throw line. And Newton came into the game as a 95% free throw shooter, 2 for 2 today. If he knocks down 2, you can pretty much put a bow on this one.
That's why Coach Wicks told him, inbound the ball to Newton. I don't care how you get it to him, but get him the ball, because he doesn't miss from the free throw line. Did you hear me? He doesn't miss.
I think there was also something that they relayed back to us.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, as Newton gets the kind roll.
He was worried. The announcer jinxed it all it could right there.
6.6 seconds remaining. Announcer jinxed no work on the Cowboys. One more. As Newton knocks it home. And with 6.6 remaining, also a 7-point advantage for the Cowboys. That probably will do it. As Ethan Taylor slams it with 2.7 seconds remaining. The ball going to front court to Newton, and that will do it. As the Wyoming Cowboys go on the road and get their second conference win of the year, defeating the Air Force Falcons by a final score of 70-65. And with the win, Wyoming improves to 9-6, 2-2 in conference play. The Falcons drop to 3-11, 0-3 in the Mountain West, as the Falcons have lost 4 straight. We'll be right back and wrap things up when we return to Clune Arena. Well, close but no cigars. The Air Force Falcons lose their 4th game in a row as they fall to the Wyoming Cowboys by a final score of 70-65. As we welcome you back inside of Clune Arena. This one was just a very tough game for the Falcons, especially when you think about what happened at the free throw line, Brian. They had a fantastic opportunity to be able to win, just weren't able to knock down their free throws.
Yeah, you make the free throws and you're right in this basketball game. And unfortunately, they didn't make enough of them to stay close enough to make those possessions at the end there matter. And you can't do that if you're the Air Force Falcons. Got to make free throws and make more shots down the stretch. Too many scoring droughts as well.
In the first half, Air Force shot 8 of 17 from downtown. And in the second half, only 2 of 7. And we talked about the shooting woes against UNLV. They struggled, only shooting 33%. Did better a little bit. But then, come down crunch time, wasn't able to go and knock down their shots when they needed them the most.
That's right. The scoring drought in the absolute wrong time of the game, down the end of the game. And Wyoming kind of turned it up then, and they were stronger inside.
Yeah, Wyoming, without their leading scorer, was able to find a way how to get it done. As when you look at the highlights, it started off well for the Falcons, mostly in the painting area with Mr. Wesley Silahusky.
Yeah, Silahusky banked 2 threes as well, and then he got it inside. He was big and strong to lead the Falcons in this game with 19 points. But, man, Wyoming was just knocking them down for 3. That's Allen, who went perfect from three-point land today. He was 4 for 4, perfect from the floor. He had 14 points to lead Wyoming. Or actually, Newton had 16 points, but then Nesbitt, strong inside down the stretch, got that basket against Jeffrey Mills. And here, down 3, the Falcons had the look they wanted. Ethan Taylor just couldn't bang it. And from there, it was make free throws and take care of it for the Wyoming Cowboys, and they got the win.
Looking at the final statistics, you see that the Falcons were able to go and have 5 more assists. You look around and say, well, you did everything well, but it's those hidden stats. Going back to the free throw line, Wyoming, 13 of 18. Air Force went 5 of 13. If you just make 5 of those free throws, we're going in overtime.
Yeah, crazy. And, you know, the Falcons were ahead in the rebounding battle here. In the first half, they were up 12-7. Wyoming corrected that in the second half. Their big guys got inside and hit the boards, and it gave them some second chance points there in the second half. They came up with 3 points there.
Well, with the loss, the Air Force Falcons will drop to 3-11, 0-3 in conference play. Their next game will be against San Diego State on the road. A very difficult team, but I remember last year what the Falcons did. They went into New Mexico, was able to pull out a W from there. It's not impossible for this team to come back to Clune Arena next Saturday with a W under the belt.
It sure would be nice. You know, in the Falcons, I like the way they're playing. I'll bet you Joe Scott, he hasn't hung his head after any of these losses this year. I don't expect him to today. I think the fight was there for the Falcons. Just got to figure out a way to make more free throws and make some shots on those possessions late in the game.
And looking at the upcoming schedule, as we talked about the game at San Diego State, that'll be on the 8th, and then we'll return back here to Clune Arena where the Falcons would take on San Jose State. That'll be a 1 o'clock start, and then they'll be at Nevada on the 14th, 17th at Fresno State before returning back home to take on Fresno State, rather San Diego State. Now on the opposite side, when you look at Wyoming, well, the Wyoming Cowboys, they improved to 9-6, 2-2 in conference play. They will continue on their winning ways. They'll return home to take on New Mexico. And it's an impressive victory for the Cowboys, especially without the leading scorer, Obi Agnew.
Absolutely. Without him playing in the game today, you thought this was a prime opportunity for the Falcons. Unfortunately, Air Force couldn't get it done. Hats off to Sundance Wicks and his team because they did.
Well, we'll see what the Falcons can go and get a W next time as they fall to their arch rival, the Wyoming Cowboys, by a final score of 70-65. We'll be back on January 11th, my birthday, at 1 p.m. when the men's basketball team will take on San Jose State. This has been a presentation of Altitude Sports and Entertainment, your home for the Air Force Falcons. For myself, Justin Adams, and Brian German, and the entire crew, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you all season long on Altitude Sports. Have a wonderful night, and God bless.